Now at 10, details about a proposed bill in Oklahoma to give parents the right to sue schools if they feel their rights are violated. Plus, the latest on the East Quincy Street project in Pittsburgh and how it affects residents' commutes. And we'll hear from Freeman Health System about the dangers of radon and its effect on Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The man charged with the murder of missing Oklahoma 4-year-old Athena Brownfield is back in Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Cale Chapman. Ivan Adams was last arrested this last week in Arizona on murder and child neglect charges in Athena's death in Surreal, Oklahoma. Alicia Adams is also charged in the case. She faces 2 counts of child neglect. Court documents show Alicia Adams claims to have witnessed Ivan severely beat Athena on Christmas and leave with her body. Athena was reported missing on January 10th after her sister was found alone by a postal carrier. The remains of the child were found during the investigation, but authorities have not officially confirmed they are Athena's. State lawmakers in Oklahoma are trying to make a lawsuit law to file against schools if rights of parents are violated. Supporters say it would empower parents, but those against it say it could scare off teachers. Successful lawsuits could result in monetary damages or injunctions to make sure certain actions happen. Reporter Bert Mamolo has the details.
The right to direct the education of a child and make healthcare decisions for a child are just 2 of several items listed in the impressively titled Oklahoma Parents' Bill of Rights. But if the rights are violated, there's really no penalty, at least not yet.
Well, my thoughts are yes.
Tulsa grandparent Kathy McDonald reacting to Senate Bill 131, which would authorize parents to file a civil action against a person or governmental entity for a violation of the Parents' Bill of Rights.
It gives teeth to the power of parenting.
The bill would also change the protocol for sex ed class, making it opt-in rather than opt-out. Something McDonald supports as well, since she says it will make sure parents know what their kids are learning.
They have to sign to allow them in, then they will know. That's called opt-in. They sign and they agree to let their child go, and that sounds American to me.
But not so enthusiastic about the bill, Tulsa School Board member John Croissant, who told Channel 8, pitting parents against educators is not the answer. This bill would only add more litigation and scare tactics against educators that will only further exacerbate the teacher shortage in Oklahoma that is already critical. Like many bills that are filed this time of year, I don't feel this bill deserves any consideration. As far as McDonald goes, she's opting in to support the bill.
The parents are unempowered right now, and we don't know it. I didn't know it. I'm shocked.
The bill isn't solely targeted against schools. Lawsuits could also be filed against any individual or governmental entity. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Caleb. It was a beautiful day across the area. You would not think that there's winter weather to be dealing with, but we actually had that this evening. Winter storm watches and warnings are out for western Kansas. Winter weather advisories getting pretty close to us. That goes until Sunday at midnight. Nothing on radar right now, but that's going to be changing over the next 24 to 36 hours. And that's going to help the drought situation a little bit, especially in western Kansas where they really need the rain and the snowpack. Even in our area, we're seeing extreme and exceptional drought conditions in southeastern Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma. Temperatures are going to be dropping through the 30s tonight, all the way down into the upper 20s. And then as we look down the lane, we're going to see some changes. A chilly rain on Saturday with a winter mix on Sunday morning, clouds on Monday, and then a big winter storm impacting our area on Tuesday. I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Sam. The City of Pittsburgh provided an update on its East Quincy Street project. They say the project is on schedule. KOAM's Shagun Bomadelli was there and has more.
The project is happening around Joplin Street to Rouse Street, and improvements include a 3-lane road for 1 lane each direction of driving with a center turning lane.
It takes a 2-lane road into a 3-lane with curb and gutter, improved storm sewer, grade improvements at the railroad track crossing, and additional left-hand turn lanes at the intersection of Quincy and Rouse.
Bacon gives details on what the completed project will look like.
We are going to have sidewalks on both sides of this project. So from a pedestrian standpoint, there'll be walkability now through this stretch of road that connects back to Broadway and some of our other trails, and sidewalks that are actually tied into the Pitt State campus.
As construction continues on the Quincy Road, I spoke to two local residents who use the road on a daily basis. One who does not want to be on camera, she tells me she is excited and eagerly waiting for the road to be completed, while the other tells me how the closing of the road has negatively affected his commute time.
I drive to Joplin for work. I'm a nurse in the ICU at Freeman, and so I used to go down this road every day to get to the road to get to Joplin, and so now I'm having to cut through the neighborhood and go down by Via Christi. And so it adds probably a good 5 minutes to my commute. I mean, it's kind of on the way, but there's a lot more stoplights. So that's been a pretty big bummer for me, just because it's changed my everyday commute.
But city officials say the project is right on schedule.
The project is on schedule. It's a multi-phase project. It was a 300-day working project. Again, it's a 300-day working project. They are on schedule. It's a big project. It's $7 million. There's a lot of work involved with this project.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Shagmamdele, KOAM News.
The project is anticipated to be finished by August. Freeman Health System today held a presentation about the dangers of radon and its prevalence in the Joplin area. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless radioactive gas. It often occurs naturally in the basements of homes. Over time, it can damage a person's lungs and even cause lung cancer.
But once you know that the radon levels are high enough, the cutoff is 4 picocuries per liter of air. If the radon level is higher than that, then you can mitigate by lowering the ill effects of radon.
The CDC says radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. Kansas U.S. Senator Jerry Moran today paid a visit to Pitt State's Tyler Research Center to host the National Science Foundation's director, among many other guests. The goal is to host special guests to tour the research center and to learn more about the research and innovation happening there. Kansas Lieutenant Governor David Toland was also in attendance. He shares the importance of educating the youth.
We invest a lot in our young people through our K-12 system and through higher ed, and we want to make sure that at the end of the day, after they're fully educated, that we are harnessing their talents to build the Kansas economy. We want them to live here, raise their families here, build businesses here, and be part of these solutions that we need as a nation.
The tour included a trip around the campus where they saw construction for the new simulation hospital at the Irene Bradley School of Nursing. They also visited the Kansas Technology Center. Some Carthage High School marketing and culinary students put their heads together to come up with a food truck project. Marketing class students divided in groups of 10 to come up with their realistic food trucks. The students came up with the name, logo, menu, and design, while a matching class created a prototype of the truck. A culinary class picked one item from the menu and created it. The high school's media class participated in the showcase today as well.
We are constantly working on ways to cross-collaborate with departments in the Tech Center, and today you can see that not only do we work with culinary to create food and machining to create the trucks, but we also have our media class here today that is videoing and taking pictures and things to help produce future commercials and things for us.
This is the second year the class is doing the project. Curl says they were able to make everything a little bit bigger this year. Carthage Junior High hosted its 4th annual Career Exploration Fair. They invite local businesses to showcase the various careers and jobs available within the community. Students are given bingo cards with question prompts to help break the ice. Questions include, did you have to go to college to start your career? And do you practice self-care to manage stress? Some students have an idea of what they want to be already.
I kind of like to be an engineer just because I like putting together stuff and playing with stuff and getting it together.
The event concluded the district's annual College and Career Readiness Week. Coming up, the lead investigator of the Supreme Court draft leak on Roe v. Wade reports her findings. Plus, the U.S. Defense Secretary meets allies to discuss Ukraine aid. Anti-abortion advocates from across the country gathered in Washington, D.C. on Friday for the annual March for Life. It's the first since the Supreme Court's conservative majority ended Roe v. Wade, the federal constitutional right to an abortion. This year's theme was Next Steps, Marching Forward into a Post-Roe America. The lead investigator of the Supreme Court leak says she found nothing to implicate any of the 9 justices or their spouses for the leaked draft opinion on overturning Roe v. Wade. Supreme Court Marshal Gail Curley led the inquiry and says she spoke with each justice during her investigation. Curley says her team conducted 126 interviews of 97 Supreme Court employees. The investigation did not find the source of the leak. U.S. military officials say Ukraine has a chance to launch a significant counteroffensive against Russia this spring with the right equipment. But there is a holdup on German-made tanks that defense officials around the world are hoping to overcome. Reporter Chanel Call has details from New York.
There is no end in sight for Russia's war against Ukraine. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying a negotiation may be the only way to end the violence.
For this year, it would be very, very difficult to militarily eject the Russian forces from every inch of Ukrainian-occupied or Russian-occupied Ukraine.
Russia invaded almost 11 months ago, and a steady supply of international aid has helped Ukraine frustrate its invaders. It is good, but we need more tanks, this soldier says. More than 50 defense leaders gathered at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany to coordinate future support, which includes U.S. combat vehicles. But German officials are balking at providing more tanks. That sparked outrage in Berlin, where protesters there chanted "Free the Leopards," the name of the German tank.
President Putin is increasingly turning to Wagner.
On Friday, the U.S. took aim at Russia, designating the paramilitary group Wagner a transnational criminal organization and imposing new sanctions. The White House released satellite photos said to show the group receiving a shipment from North Korea.
North Korea delivered infantry rockets and missiles into Russia for use by Wagner toward the end of last year.
Meanwhile, back on the Ukrainian front line, the men of this Special Forces Brigade are hunkered down, prepared for the coldest weeks of winter still ahead. Chanel Call, CBS News.
A Navy official confirmed to CBS News that American Daniel Swift was killed on Wednesday in Ukraine. He was a Navy SEAL who's been AWOL since 2019. The official did not know when or why Swift went to Ukraine. A little later, the Nevada Tigers girls basketball team square off against the Frontenac Raiders to earn their spot in the Raider Classic title game.
And we had a beautiful day today, but winter is going to make a comeback. I'll have all the details when we return. Well, we're starting off the weekend right with lots of sunshine today and pretty seasonable temperatures, but that is not going to be the case all weekend long. Right now outside in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, pretty nice night down there. Temperatures dropping down into the 30s. We'll drop down into the 20s by tomorrow morning, but the big story is going to be the system that we have coming in tomorrow night into Sunday morning. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's look over the last 36 hours. You can see yesterday was a little bit of a chilly day. And then this afternoon we jumped up into the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. In fact, they did reach into the 50s down in Oklahoma. But here in Joplin, we topped out at 49, starting out at 23, which was slightly below the normal, but we made up for it on the high side. So it ended up being around a seasonable day. Nowhere, of course, close to those records of 77 and minus 12. Radar is clear right now, but there are winter weather advisories out for western Kansas, even some winter storm warnings out for those folks. But we're not going to see anything like that just yet. That's going to have to wait till the next storm system on Tuesday. But right now you can see the upper level low spinning over northern New Mexico. That's moving off towards the east. And as it does so, we'll start to see the rain chances increase tomorrow. And it'll be a kind of a chilly rain at that. So a little bit of a raw day. Temperatures right now are generally in the 20s and 30s. 29 in Parsons and Pittsburgh for one of the coolest readings. 32 in Nevada, 36 in Carthage. 37 for our friends down in Neosho. Let's take a look at see what it feels like when you factor in the wind. It feels not too bad. It could be worse. It feels like 29 in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and 29 in Yates Center. That's because the winds are generally light right now, so not much of a wind chill. Dew points are in the 20s and 30s across our area, so a little bit of dry air in place. 36 right now in Joplin, east-southeast wind at 6, so it makes it feel a tad cooler at 31. Dew point is 28 and the pressure is currently steady. Rain chances over the next 36 hours are really going to start to increase tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening, and then we have that mix over late tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. As the storm system starts to move away from us, we may see a little bit of a mixture and changeover. Temperatures tonight are going to be right around freezing with mostly cloudy skies. Then as we go through the day tomorrow, here comes the rain from west to east, and it'll be a chilly rain with temperatures in the 40s, 30s up towards the north and west. And then as we go through the afternoon and evening hours, some of that rain could switch over to a mixture as we head into Sunday morning, with lows generally in the 30s, and our winds will be turning around to the north and west. And then Sunday night into Monday morning, we're going to see lows generally in the 30s, but after highs struggling into the lower 40s. And then as we head through Sunday night into Monday morning, clouds move away and temperatures drop down into the 20s. But notice another band of clouds moving in with the next storm system, and that's going to be the big storm system in our forecast. Rainfall amounts are generally going to be less than ½ an inch, most places getting around 1/10 or 2 at most. And rainfall may switch over to some snow, especially up towards the north and maybe off towards the south and east. A little bit better chance of snow off towards Springfield. Here's your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, 80% chance of showers in the evening, switching over to maybe a little bit of snow on Sunday morning, but the big snowstorm is going to be on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Alert days in effect for those. That could be a wallop of a storm system. And then as we go through the rest of the week, turning colder, and yet we have more rounds of winter-like precipitation in the extended forecast. And of course, we have plenty of time to look at all that, but it's going to be an active week to 10 days over here.
For sure, yeah, we're going to have to watch the roads when we're out there this week.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Tune in over the weekend to get the updated forecast.
Sure thing.
Alrighty.
Well, still ahead, the Webb City boys aim to move on to the Raider Classic Championship in Frontenac, and the Carl Junction girls punch their ticket to the Bill Hanson Memorial Tournament Championship in Pittsburgh. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Tonight is semifinal night at the Bill Hanson Memorial Basketball Tournament in Pittsburgh. And the girls bracket, the Carl Junction Bulldogs have a chance to move on to the championship game, facing the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies. The Carl Junction 13-1 coming into the day on an 8-game winning streak. CJ down too early. Chloe Burke, corner 3, gives the Bulldogs a 1-point lead, but Northwest up 2 after 1. In the second quarter, Destiny Berge, good look to Desi Williams. Finishes off the glass. CJ hanging around. They're within 3 at half. Now, they were down 9 in the fourth, but here come the Bulldogs. Destiny Berge finishes through traffic. Berge scores a team-high 22, then down just 3 here. Hallie Shorter, huge 3 from the corner. That ties the ball game, and the Bulldogs take the lead at the free throw line. Then final chance for the Huskies, but it is no good. Carl Junction, 4 tournaments this season. They've made the championship game in all of them. Bulldogs win tonight 45-42.
That was one of our goals at the beginning of the year is to be in the championship of every tournament. And, it feels good. It feels good to get a win like that. We need wins like that, close wins, and I felt like our kids battled. So we're going to have our work cut out for us tomorrow, too. Whichever team here wins is going to give us all we want for sure.
In the boys bracket, tournament host Pittsburgh with a tough one tonight, facing Owasso in the semifinals. At last check in that one, it was halftime. Pittsburgh trails 37-16 at the break. Tonight is also semifinal night at the 4-State Raider Classic at Frontenac High School. On the girls' side, the tournament host Raiders are in the semifinals tonight, facing another local team in the Nevada Tigers. The winner of this one plays for the tournament title tomorrow afternoon. Clara Swearingen. Really good start for Nevada. Nobody steps up, so she just buries the deep ball. Swearingen again, about the same spot here. 11 in the first quarter, 18 in the first half for Swearingen. Other end, Hattie Pyle. She had a good night. Threw some contact for Frontenac. 13 in the first half for Pyle. But it's Tigers by 4 at the break. The third quarter, Nevada really didn't miss very many shots. Katie Johnson, good from the right side for 3. Then Abby Heffman. Long ball of her own. Tigers get the lead to double digits. Frontenac tightens the game late, but it's Nevada moving on to the championship 58-55. On the other side of the bracket, Fort Scott faces Blue Springs. Fort Scott 10-0 coming into the day, ranked 5th in the state in Class 4A. Today, though, Tigers suffer their first loss 61-39, so it's going to be Blue Springs and Nevada in the tournament championship game tomorrow. The boys semifinal in Frontenac tonight, Fort Scott and Webb City. Burks Kegler, 3 for Fort Scott. He scores 15 tonight. Then it's Rocco Lafredo getting the nice putback. Fort Scott scores the first 6 points of the night. Webb City, though, gets going. Holton Keith off the steal. Nice move for 2. Keith also doing it from deep. 3 from the top of the key. Keith scores 12 for Webb City tonight. It was close all evening, but Webb City wins 53-47 to advance to the Raider Classic Championship.
It's the 5th year in a row we've been in the finals. This is a young group. They've played really well up to this point. And all these games are dress rehearsal for the district tournament for us. So anytime you can be in a championship game, in a big game environment, the crowd will be really good over here. I think it's what prepares for postseason play.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Dean Kinzer served in the U.S. Army from 2001 to 2004. He was stationed in Iraq and South Korea and was a distinguished member of the 502nd Regiment and fought in the first ground assault in Iraq. He also helped set up Mosul city government and phone systems after they were destroyed in the war. We're proud to salute Dean Kinzer, a 4-state hero. Alrighty, well, Sam, how's that weather?
Well, a lot of people are going to be traveling up the road to Kansas City probably for the game, and it's going to be a rainy game, maybe even switching over to some snow before the end of it, and then maybe some snow here early Sunday morning, but a better chance of snow on Tuesday night into Wednesday. Could be a significant storm, and then there's going to be other chances of winter-like weather as we head through the rest of the forecast. So it's going to be active around here for a while.
Gotcha. Leonard, anything from sports?
Parsons girls, Neodesha girls won their semifinal games at the Lancer Classic tonight, so it'll be Parsons, Neodesha for the tournament championship tomorrow night.
Well, there you go. All right, remember, we're always on with you on the KOAM Plus app. We'll leave you with a video of a koala cooling off in a sprinkler. We'll see you all this weekend. Thanks for making us a part of your night.